One of the deal breakers for me when I was dating was anybody that just wantonly kills animals.
Yeah.
Domesticated ones.
Oh, wait.
Like cats or dogs, just in their basement. Anybody that does that.
So that happened? What?
Well, it's never happened, but...
Hey, let's go. Welcome to the show,
Oh.
Brandon,
That's me.
the weirdo.
Well, I don't know about that.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Miss
Good
you.
to see you again.
It's been a minute.
Uh-huh.
We're excited to pick back up our podcast, Life LOL, Season 2.
We made it to a second season.
We were trying to decide if we want to do just like a Christmas holiday episode special,
Okay.
or if we just wanted to start Season 2. And I just decided
Just
Season
now.
2. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
You okay
fine.
with that?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
All right, we have a new co-host with us, Jen
Hey,
Francis.
what's
Ooh, you may
At-
have heard us.
Gmail.
Oh, yeah.
up? I don't
Curtis.
exist anywhere else other than
This
here.
is our number one listener, so all of you guys out there have hope that you could one day become the co-host
True.
if you listen hard enough.
Yeah.
Due to her incessant inquiries into our show, she managed to make her way to the mic.
Also, India is gone from our lives, so
I was what was left.
So
not exactly.
We
And
thought, who could we
We
bring
We
in?
thought, what an opportunity this is to up our game.
Okay.
No, they're scraping the barrel, and I'm kind of thinking that I'm not going to be employed here long because
Oh, that's
Oh.
also
all
true.
your female co-hosts, you're just going through.
Better opportunities.
They get picked up by talent.
So that's
That's
what I'm
right.
hoping for.
So-
This is my leaping stone.
So
Yeah.
we're really the leftovers,
Yeah.
not you,
Okay, good.
if you look at it that way.
We stay only because of this show. And that's why. I've had
Here-
many offers.
Oh, well, I haven't got any.
Oh.
Well, what do you do?
Mhm.
Well, Jen, is there anything you want to say right off the bat?
Have you ever had, because this just happened to me,
Okay.
Oh, my.
where I said something about going to Costco, and she said, I didn't think you would go to Costco.
Like they didn't think you were a Costco person?
Yes.
You don't seem like the Costco type.
Yeah, no, they labeled me as a Whole Foods person.
Oh.
Oh, I wouldn't have
Right?
made that leap.
Right?
Huh.
I don't.
I would
so
have
have
thought
you ever
like
had?
like family size determines if you're a Costco person, right?
Maybe that was.
Like Brandon, bunch of kids, and be like, oh yeah, he goes to
It's
Costco.
Yeah.
So, but
I was
Whole
initially
Foods?
thinking she thought I was too poor.
Oh,
Whole Foods isn't a poor place.
No.
No, I know, but when she first was like, I didn't think of you going to Costco, I was like,
Oh.
because I couldn't afford the.
She thought that you're
Oh, the membership.
So you started to think why you are not worthy of
Yes.
Costco when she was thinking that you were above Costco.
I guess, yeah. So that was nice.
Mm,
Let me
But
tell
then I
you,
was like, do I come off across hoity-toity?
I don't know.
just
Is that hoity-toity?
I don't know,
Is
because
Whole
sometimes
Foods?
I'll be like, I just went to Sizzler the other night, and people are like, I didn't peg you as a Sizzler guy. I would have thought you would have been over at Carl's Jr. I'm like, oh.
what?
No.
That doesn't
I'm not
make
even good
sense.
enough for Sizzler. No, I don't know. That is interesting that they would think that.
So do you go to Costco?
Sometimes, yes. I mean, I have the card.
So you can't afford the membership.
I get, well, I went in. Luckily, I have a friend. She has the
Oh.
membership.
Oh, I see.
I pay her. I go in on it with her. Win-win,
Uh-huh,
see.
uh-huh.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I went to Costco last night, actually. And have you ever left the store spending less than $100?
This is always my goal,
I
and
feel
I
like-
have made it a few
Oh,
times.
good.
And
Have
I'm-
you?
It's not possible with my family size.
It's
I
insane.
can't handle it, so because I don't have the membership, my wife does, and because she shares it with her mom,
Oh, I see.
so they split it, and so whenever she's paying, I just kind of wander away because I don't want to see the total. I just can't.
It's
Have
too
you ever
much.
have you been too stupid and optimistic to think that you don't need a cart? You're like, oh, I'm just
No.
gonna grab a few.
No,
But
never.
that's like the best thing
I'm
to
just
do.
running in for the milk.
Yeah.
I can only take what I can carry,
Yeah.
but then the stuff does get too heavy, and you're like,
Yes.
I need a cart,
Yeah.
and then suddenly it's full. So
Especially if you're browsing, because they have
That's
new
what's
things all the
dangerous.
time.
This is true.
Yeah.
It's not like Walmart; it's the same stuff, day in and day out.
So normally I go shopping with Brienne, and she wanted me to go to Costco without her, so she didn't have to go. So it's like, okay, what's our set list? And she's like, okay, you're just going in to get this like soup they have, some Monster energy drinks, and then look for this like coat or whatever that they were advertising. That's kind of like a new version of a Snuggie, where it's like a big long hoodie. It's all
Ooh.
padded and nice. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, I've got my list. I get in there. As soon as I walk in, get distracted by AirPods being on sale. Why I
Yeah.
need that, I don't know, because I have AirPods. So I'm like, okay, whatever, little distraction. I get the soup, I get the Monsters, and then I end up finding water bottles, and I got these little like biscuits, and then some nuts, and then I leave. $70, so I made it under.
And you forgot all the stuff. You were
Totally
supposed to-
forgot. I was supposed to I get home, and I'm like, this is why you need to go with me.
You need a list,
It's too much. So.
which my life has been revolutionized by Alexa in my house because I can just yell out whenever I think of it. Alexa, add toilet paper to the shopping list, and then when I get to the store, I can just click on my app, and I have my shopping list there, and that's what I go off of. Because a lot of times I'm like, oh, I need some sliced turkey. I'll have to remember that when I go to Costco. But you never do, and I never write it down. So
I used to do that with Alexa, but then I feel like I got upset because she keeps your list. Like, once you check it off, it just goes down and stays on this never-ending
yeah, but
scrolling thing.
it's grayed out though.
That was
Do
too
you look
much
back
for
and
me.
think,
Okay.
look
I
at all
wanted it
of
off.
Look
I'm
at
like,
all
I
this
don't want to see what I've...
accomplishment.
No,
That's true. I've never
too
thought about
much.
that.
So I stopped. But maybe I should go back to
But I
Alexa.
do like the list. And then whenever my wife's at the store, she's like, do you need anything else? And I say, check Alexa. That's where I put it all. So she needs to learn how to use that more.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, it's been great for me.
So that's Costco.
Yeah.
Costco.
Christmas is coming up. I wanted to talk about that for a little bit. Our last episode was Halloween,
Really?
I think.
No.
No, I'm pretty sure it was.
Really?
Yeah.
As
We
your
didn't do
faithful
any
listener.
in November?
Yeah, no.
Wow, okay.
So
You've left us hanging this long.
6 weeks.
Jen brought the band back together.
Thanks, Jen.
Brandon, you got any fun Christmas traditions you want to talk about?
Like fun ones?
Well, just interesting, I guess is a
No,
better
well,
word.
We're actually going to start one this year,
Okay.
Christmas Eve, because we don't have anything scheduled on Christmas Eve. Before we've had like a family party or whatever on Christmas Eve, but it didn't work out this year, so we're doing it a couple days before that. But so me and just my kids and my wife are going to do candlelight Christmas.
Oh, fun.
Ooh, what does that mean?
I kind of did that, I think.
It's pretty self-explanatory. we're going to turn off all the lights and light candles and have dinner by candlelight. And then,
I should have guessed because I don't think it was self-explanatory.
or
Yeah, no,
candlelight
that's not what I did.
or lamp
I'm like, oh,
or
okay.
lamplight.
That's what I should have
I
done.
mean, I get the candle lights.
Yeah, but in the house, we'll have dinner by, candle or lamplight
Okay.
and, maybe read a, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas or something like that.
Okay.
And then there's the candlelight Christmas. This is the place, State Park,
Okay.
where it's old-timey candlelight Christmas.
I don't know
there.
any of this.
That's what
But
I did. This
That's
was
what
like,
I've done
oh.
that before too. But I think that maybe was what did this. We tried to do the kids sometimes we'll have a candlelight dinner, and turn off all the power. And the kids wanted to do this in the summer, and we didn't think it through, and it was light until 10 o'clock at night, so
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't. So it doesn't we're lighting a candle, but it's still bright. It's like the magic's not quite there when it's not dark in the house.
The sun's still up.
The sun's still up. So only winter is good for those. So
Okay.
we're gonna try that out this year and see how it goes. But kind of bring it back to basics
I see.
before tomorrow or the next day when electronic toys and all that stuff is out there.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's fun.
we're gonna try that out. But we always do try to go out and do fun things like see the elves at Gardner Village or go to the temple to see the lights, go to a choir performance, all that sort of, stuff like that. Christmas stuff. And it's exhausting. But it's fun.
I don't think of any of these like traditions, and Brianne keeps mentioning my wife, Brianne, for those who have forgotten. She's like, I like to do Christmas things, so maybe we should do some every now and then. I was like, oh, okay.
Like what?
Well, we'll do like the lights and stuff like that. But one of the ones that she used to do as a kid was like the 25 Days of Christmas, which is not 25.
Is
it's
that where
actually
you watch?
12.
It should
And
be
I
12.
thought it was
I thought she was
25.
doing, like, an Advent.
No.
Okay.
So she had, her mom made like these little stocking things, like some are in the shape of an envelope, and they're all kind of like, you know, the size of a paper or smaller, and then like folded together. And she the last couple years has put like little things in them, like for the 12 days, and then written poems or whatever for me, like to go with the little thing. So it could be like a Chick-fil-A gift card or like, you know, a drawing or something like that. Okay. So it was like cute. So she pulled out, we were decorating for Christmas, she pulled out these socks or whatever, and they turned out to be 25. So then I was like, oh, it's my turn to do this, and it's for 25 days? What?
Yep, the game.
And she's like, no, it's not. I'm like, no, I'll keep up with your traditions. So I've been going for whatever days it is now, 17 days straight, like having to write a poem thing to go along with some little gift.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going well. I'm getting lots of bonus points.
Well,
So
Nice.
that is
she
good.
loves it. But that's going to be a new tradition.
So you
25
swap
days of
every
Christmas.
other year. Who
Weird,
does it
yeah.
for who?
Yeah, I think that's the plan. But chances are she'll just do 12. Since that's actually the tradition.
Yeah. What about you, Jen?
I am a bitter, broken person when it comes to Christmas.
Oh,
So it's in this.
fun. You watch all the versions of Scrooge and then
And I go,
stop.
And stop. And I'm like, don't change. You had a good thing going.
Yeah.
The end.
What's your problem? Because I grew up and it was, you know, magical and wonderful and everything good and pure in the world was a beautiful place. And I have since learned different. And so now it's just a reminder of all the broken dreams that have never come true.
I mean,
So
well,
the joy just triggers the sadness.
Yes. Yeah. So I just try just go dead inside is my
Yeah.
advice for life, and it just makes everything easier.
Life, not just this time
Yeah,
of year.
no, just overall, just shut off all emotions. So it was in this
Wow.
state,
Uh-huh.
right, that I felt I had no malice or ill intent, but you can see my feeling, right, the mood I'm in. And so then I thought I innocently asked my roommate if we could maybe like
oh
just
no.
kind of do a variation on Christmas gifts, and she took great offense at this and kicked me out the next day.
Oh, no.
Thus proving that Christmas is a sham.
It's a horrible, horrible holiday.
So
You
you
were Bob
kicked out
Cratchit.
because
Yeah.
you because of your Christmas hatred.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh man.
She said I mean girl. And honestly, okay, so this is the thing. So a subsequent conversation happened after. And honestly, I have to say, she is the nicest person in the world. Because based on what she is accusing me of doing over the course of our
Cohabitation.
yes, I'm just horrible. And so the fact that she's put up with me this long, she is the nicest person on the planet.
Wow.
She should have kicked me out a long time ago.
Do you want to share with us what she says you've done?
Well, no, but it's but this accusation that I was gaslighting her. I'm like, that is evil if you think that I am
Yeah.
trying to make you think you're crazy. So can't we just go with there must have been a little miscommunication somewhere along the way?
Because I don't want to be crazy.
Yeah.
That's what she said. I'm not the crazy.
I'm not like crazy. So yeah, it's just been a little odd. But so this has tipped me off to things I should look out for now of deal breakers.
Like
And
what?
when you realize, like, this is not a relationship you should get into.
Okay.
Cohabitation or otherwise romantic, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So, do you have ones that are deal breakers? But I can tell you one that I should have known.
Uh-huh.
She likes the movie Vertigo. And
Oh.
I've now learned, like, anybody who really likes that, like, we are just not
Really?
going to see life the same.
Because
Is it
you
'cause you
don't
don't like
like
it?
I do
Or-
not like that movie,
at
yeah.
all, huh? Why don't you like Vertigo?
Well, if I remember correctly, one, I'm a huge Jimmy Stewart fan, and I think he's wacko in that, if I recall.
Yeah.
So don't make my Jimmy look bad. That's
Sure.
hard for me.
Okay.
And it's just a little crazy, right? Like, so weird stuff is going on. And so if you're just like, no, I love this movie, like, we're just not going to, we don't see life the same. Like,
So that's going to be one of your first questions
That's
to
a
people
real
now?
specific.
Yeah.
Vertigo.
Yeah.
yeah,
we
this is
can't
not
be
going to work.
friends.
Oh, I've realized every time this has come up and they love it,
Yeah.
it hasn't been good. So I've realized this is
That's
a
it.
go-to.
How do you get to that point where you pinpoint right there, Vertigo? She liked Vertigo. I don't like that movie.
I'm not going to ask it. Like,
Yeah.
because it gets brought up, right? So people in conversations, and if they're like, I love Vertigo, and then I've just realized those people, not my
I've
people.
never once had anybody bring up Vertigo in any conversation.
You should maybe start.
I'm gonna start
I
asking.
better go
people.
ask Carrie and see
Yeah.
if I can
Go
get a
ask
lawyer.
someone you think is crazy, or that you don't like, or whatever,
How do you
if they
feel
like
about-
Vertigo, and then you're
Okay.
like, oh, that's
Interesting.
what it is. The Vertigo test.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The Vertigo
Yeah.
method.
Should we do an Insta poll to see who likes Vertigo?
Yes. We should. We'll pop that up there.
I don't think I've ever watched it all the way through. I've seen clips and pieces of it, but I don't remember having an opinion on it. I mean, people love Hitchcock, right? It's Hitchcock.
Yeah, it
Yes,
is Hitchcock.
I love all of his other stuff, but that one is like, no.
Well, one of the deal breakers for me when I was dating was anybody that just wantonly kills animals,
Yeah.
domesticated ones,
Oh, wait.
like cats or dogs, just in their basement. Anybody that
Wait,
does that.
So that happened? What?
No, it's never happened, but I decided that would be something that I would not put up
I
with.
think that's good.
It's just
How did you?
animal mutilation.
Why did you decide that?
Well, it seems like a good policy.
But who do you know that? Like, I don't
Well,
know how you
nobody,
arrive at that
But
thought.
if they did show up, I would have said,
Deal breaker.
mm-mm,
So essentially,
not with me.
you're just trying to exclude a dozen people from
Yeah.
the running of
Well,
dating. you.
psychopaths. I think that's a good
Sure.
demographic to exclude.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know how you come up with that. You just wake up one morning. You
Well,
know what?
you just hear.
Mutilation of animals.
I decided that I don't like that. And then I thought,
After much thought and contemplation, he came
I
to the
wouldn't like
conclusion.
somebody that does like that. So,
What is that? Where the line is drawn in the sand?
yeah, pretty
You
much.
can get over anything else.
Well, a lot of things like opposites attract, right? So,
This
but
is too
in
much.
this case, that's too much of an opposite.
Uh,
Yeah, so that's the one. That's the one I stuck my flag into and said,
All right.
not you.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I had way too many deal breakers. We're not going to get into those. That
Well,
could be a whole other episode.
I tried to have like a
That is
nice
a whole episode.
little list. Yeah, I found out his requirements
Mhm.
for a spouse. He gets his dream girl.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I had like 3 items on mine, and I can't find anybody.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
he
Vertigo's
was
a
also-
popular movie.
He was also very actively engaged in searching. You know,
Oh, that.
like, you gotta
Just
you have
waiting
to
for
meet,
your knight in shining armor.
You have to
Only
go out and
somebody
try
will
to
come.
meet these people for them to for
That's
you
how
to
that
check the
works.
list off.
You guys are gonna have sponsors galore now that you're giving out these type of.
I
tips.
also didn't want to find somebody for a time, so you could come up with all
Oh, I've
these
done that.
all these things
Oh,
to
no.
prevent it.
I tried that.
Like, oh,
I went
I
on a
don't-
dating strike
Yeah.
of like, okay, because people are like, when you don't want it, that's when it comes. So I was like, all right, I'm out.
But you can't trick it.
Yeah, you can't
You
trick
can't
the
quit
universe.
so that you can get.
Well,
You have
what
to
was I supposed
literally
to do?
just-
I heard
just
this great
give
advice.
up.
I tried to
I'm
take it.
quitting.
Hey, I'm
Nobody
qu-
come
anyone?
find me.
Anyone? I'm quitting. Hello? No.
I'm off the
No,
market.
George. No, George. You turn around. I'm not interested in you.
No, it doesn't work that way. You have to be legitimately off the market
Oh,
for it to happen.
well, shoot.
It was just like my. I had a friend that he dated quite a bit, and a lot of girls they just never went anywhere. And the girls would always say, "Oh, I'm just decided I'm not going to date anymore." When they were with him, but what they meant is I'm not going to date you anymore because they would, 6 months later be engaged, and so like what happened to your
Yeah.
hiatus of dating is always. I always use that excuse of I'm not dating anymore, and then they'd be engaged. So I don't think that's ever really been a thing.
No, then I think I have done now the real legit one.
Oh.
See, that was back when I was like 26,
I see.
and now I'm full on in the real I'm done. And
Oh.
That's because you're being a Scrooge over there. You need to
Mhm.
like Christmas.
You need to watch Vertigo again. You might have changed your opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just remember,
When was
Jimmy
the last
Stewart
time
is
you-
acting.
I was
He's not really that person.
I was thinking that. I was like, I gotta watch that again to see if I still have that same response. And I was just like, no, because then the people that I find that are Vertigo fans, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't need to watch that again. I've already decided.
I have the same thing with Whoppers.
Oh, gosh.
Like, I'll eat one, and then I think it's good for a little bit. I had one today, actually, and
Yeah.
I reaffirmed my opinion that I don't love them.
So it's T-Mobile Tuesday.
T-Mobile Tuesday.
So everyone rushed to get a free Whopper because that's what
was a
our
free
gift
offer.
was
Oh.
for T-Mobile people.
But sometimes, like, I'll go for a year, and I'll think to myself, maybe do I actually like Whoppers again? And then I'll go try them. I'm like, no, I don't.
No, I'm being dumb. Is this the Burger King Whoppers
Yeah,
or
Burger
the
King
chocolate
Whopper.
little
No.
ball thing?
I
No.
never liked the chocolate ball
Okay.
Whoppers.
No,
Malted
the-
milk balls.
I like Robin's eggs.
The ones at Easter,
Yeah, are
Those are just good to make
they
your
are the
lips swell.
same, but
Yeah, and
they're
better.
gross.
No. So the
Only good
Burger
for
King
lip sync.
Whopper,
Okay.
I've only had maybe 2 my whole life. Like, we've never gone to Burger King.
Okay.
So I get one today, and I'm like, wow, this is a big sandwich. This seems like a
This
good
is
deal.
tasty. That's a
And then
lot.
after I tell him, I'm like, oh, I feel sick.
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh.
And
'Cause
it's not
it's-
because the patty, because that's hardly even in there. It's like whatever sauce or something they use.
Yeah, you eat half of it, and that's probably where you should stop because it's really good up to about halfway.
Okay.
And then you finish the whole thing, and you feel like garbage.
Okay.
Ugh, it was gross.
But it was free, so that's okay.
Okay. Split a free Whopper next time.
Oh,
okay.
maybe. Yeah.
Speaking of Burger King, I had the conversation with Brienne the other day because one of our friends, he's been on the podcast before, friend of the podcast, Connor, doesn't eat meat.
That's true.
And they have an Impossible Whopper
Oh.
there. So I was telling Brienne last night, I was like, hey, I want to take you to Burger King. I'll get you an Impossible Whopper. Maybe you'll like it. And then we could eat it every now and then. And she was like, no, I don't want one. I'm like, oh, just try it. Like, we'll get both. And if you can tell the difference, then, you don't ever have to eat one
Which
again.
we did try the Impossible Whopper, and I don't think a person could tell the
No.
difference. If
Okay,
you
cool.
didn't tell them, they would just think, yeah, this is as garbage as usual.
Yeah, right? I mean, I'm garbage, but it would be hidden. The patty would be
It
hidden.
might
in
be
those
even more
terrible colors.
delicious.
It might
Who knows? So then she says, no, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, oh, come on. And she's like, actually, you know what? Let's become vegetarians. And I was like, well, no, I don't want to become a vegetarian. And she's like, no, starting right now, we're having Chick-fil-A. After this, we're done. And I was like, no, you settle down. And she suddenly flipped, and I found myself hating the idea. She was tricking me. I was like, no,
reverse
no, I'm
psychology.
we're not, don't be crazy. And so she has this power. It's not
I guess what's the
good.
point of eating the Impossible Burger if you're not a vegetarian?
Just because it's more healthy, actually.
Is it? Okay, so this was my question.
It's got less fat in it.
But has it been chemically engineered? All of these?
It's
'Cause-
natural
Things?
somehow.
No, they're all different types of
Proteins
vegetables, yeah,
Okay.
or whatever. So
But how do
beans,
they put them together?
they just mash them.
It's just a mash.
Yeah, just a mash and then a grill.
I don't know about that.
It's like a process. It's whatever, it's science. It's all good. So I wanted to talk about the Cats movie upcoming.
Oh,
We've all kind of talked about it, but I think it's worth talking about on this podcast. So, are you familiar with the Cats story?
So not technically, right? I've been aware of the play forever, and so then when I saw the preview for the movie, I was like, okay, this way I can see cats, and then I can say I've seen
Yeah.
it, and I'll be up, but
the-
it's strange.
Yeah.
I'm kind of repelled, yet kind of compelled. I don't know which way to go.
The way I've described it is I've never been more sexually confused in my life than when I see the Cats trailer. Because
Taylor Swift's up there.
Taylor Swift's up there dancing without clothes on, but
Yeah.
she's a cat.
she's got a fur coat.
And I don't know what's happening. My body's going wild.
Well, I don't know
But they're
why everybody
cats.
else is naked, but Idris Elba has a coat on.
So does Judi Dench.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to see Idris with his coat off. Just kidding. No, you're right. It's that
Is it
confusion.
so weird? Because it's computer generated and all
Okay.
that. So what's going on? You don't feel that way about the cats?
Oh, I do. Think. Should I be attracted to a cat?
Like I've never been attracted to a non-human.
Yes, you have cartoons.
Oh, true.
Oh, yeah.
But she's still
Belle.
human. No,
What about
Jasmine.
Belle? Oh, Jasmine. Red Jasmine, specifically.
Well, all
But
Jasmine.
kind of, and who did we like? I did kind of have a crush on Robin Hood, the Disney
fox?
version.
Fox?
Yeah, I was like,
Oh,
he is so
okay.
handsome.
Oh.
I mean, Vixie in Fox and the Hound,
Oh.
that girl Fox, she's pretty attractive.
I think it's their body language
Okay.
that's triggering something in our brains. You know?
But there was this sweet boy who went. Did you ever see Zootopia?
Yeah.
And then they go, and they normally wear clothes, and he goes into this one, and they're kind of being naked, and he was feeling like, am I supposed to watch this?
Oh.
Because this
In that movie?
yeah.
Oh.
You mean in the nudist colony?
Yes.
When they're in
Oh,
there?
And so
that's
the little
right.
boy, but there's something about, right? Like you're
Yeah.
tweaking with my notion of what's
true.
real and
Because,
body
yeah,
language and image. And
Yeah, with the cats, though. I don't know what to think.
It's mainly just Taylor Swift and maybe the main girl.
It's
then-
like being
'cause then
attracted
when-
to Catwoman or Black Cat from Spider-Man, because they are really attractive.
Yeah, but they're people.
And then just taking it one step further
no, because
to
why are they
becoming
called?
a cat.
Why are they called sex kittens? There's something about cats.
Oh, that's true.
Wow.
The Pussycat Dolls.
Oh,
Wow.
I did like.
And why do
Pussycat
girls, when they
Dolls.
always want to be trampy at Halloween, they dress up like a cat?
Mhm.
Interesting.
You don't see many trampy dogs.
So it's just
Except for the
it's-
tramp.
It's just
course.
been from birth. I've been inundated with sexy cats.
Yeah.
And so this is just a weird manifestation.
Yeah. Think about Garfield,
Okay.
His
Heathcliff.
girlfriend.
So cute. Actually, Nermal was pretty cute.
Who are these cats?
Garfield's little friend Nermal. You don't know Nermal?
No, I don't know who Nermal is.
Okay.
We're done with that. Walking in here, we had just a quick what's his deal about littering. Have you ever had the urge to litter?
No, that is my huge pet peeve. That's a deal breaker. I'd be like, no, you're done.
We
We're
were
done.
driving down the street, and there was an old man in a leather jacket. He wasn't a homeless man, which you might assume, would be a litterer, but he was
Or any story from Brandon?
normal guy.
Saying,
Yeah.
what's his deal?
What's his deal?
It's gonna be
He had a tremendous mustache,
Mental.
and we just saw him. He had a handful of wrappers, it looked like, and he just threw them on the ground. But then he started violently kicking those wrappers and what I assume
bottle?
a bottle that he had thrown down just moments before, kicking them
Okay.
into the gutter. So he was cleaning up his mess.
Into the
Into
gutter.
the gutter. That's
In
much
his
better.
mind, he's thinking, "Oh, it's in the gutter. That's where trash goes."
They have sweepers that
They
come
have
by and
sweepers,
sweep it
whatever.
up.
Let's get it off this pristine grass. But he just threw it right there, and we're thinking, who just litters nowadays?
I know. I feel like it's coming back. We need those Don't Waste Utah commercials again.
Yeah.
One, he was hot. Two,
Oh,
people, I feel like littering has increased.
yeah.
And I want to put a stop
Have
to
we
it.
all just kind of decided the world is ending anyway? So let's
What's the
just
point?
what's the
What's
point?
the
Right?
point?
The landfills are filled.
No,
Just
I've
fill the
literally
streets.
not had the urge to be like, well, I'm done with this wrapper. Throw it on the
I
grass.
know.
I don't
There
know
are
how
garbage-
people do
You've
That
that.
never
happened
you've
in-
never had a wrapper and just no garbage can in sight and thinking, I don't want to hold on to this for the next hour.
No, I put it in my pocket, or
What
I
if it's
go
juicy?
Who's a decent human being right
What
now?
if it's like a hamburger,
A
wrapper?
Whopper wrapper?
A Whopper wrapper. It's full of, watery
I mean,
mayonnaise.
usually
You just
I'm
deal
near a
with it.
garbage can if I ever have a gross wrapper.
Yeah.
I've
I
never.
saw somebody litter in Disneyland. I was like, this is not Six Flags, people. This is Disneyland. You do
This
not
is
litter
not
in
Six Flags.
Disneyland. And there are
It's
garbage cans
so
everywhere.
weird.
Well, I
Decorated
I go a lot. I go.
You know what?
hiking a
Those
lot.
people probably like Vertigo.
They do. You're probably right.
Yes.
I go hiking a lot, and there's a lot of garbage. Like people, and it's the same type of people that like sit around a fire and they put their, beer cans or beer, bottles. And that's the pet peeve of mine is that people breaking bottles and things like that out in nature.
Yeah.
Because then people are gonna step on it or cut their hands or whatever, and I just don't like it.
It
It's
doesn't
true.
make any
And
sense.
it's always there. It's like, bring it in, take it out. If
You know
can
what?
carry it in, you can take it out.
So we at least have trash cans around town. In Japan, in Tokyo, they don't even have trash cans. So the people literally have garbage and they carry like a bag with them and they put all their garbage in there and then throw it away, excuse me, at some point. So
Yeah.
they go an extra mile.
Because
to
those
not even-
Japanese are nice.
Yeah.
They're an orderly, good
And
people.
better. Oh, yeah. Way better than us.
Oh, that's why we have 2 new listeners.
We have 2 new Japan listeners. Well, Brandon,
Yeah.
if you could detach a part of your body, what would you detach?
Well, that's a good question. What can I do with it after do I set it aside? Or
I don't know. I'm
Just if
scared
I
to
need it to
ask
be
you. I waited
detached.
till the very end to ask you.
well, I feel like there's obvious things that you might want to put away. They're just inconvenient.
Away.
And then
Or do you
just
have a
use
word
them.
of wisdom? We're running out of time.
Oh.
I don't have time for you to think about that.
I do.
Okay.
This comes from my daughter learning to play the violin,
Okay.
and she says to me, "Well, it's hard to play." And I was like, "Well, everything is difficult until it's easy. Everything in life that you try to do for the first time is difficult until it becomes easy because you're doing it more often. People don't make their first free throw.
Wow. A sports
Sometimes
reference.
they do. Was that done correctly?
Yeah, that was
okay.
good. Some
You know,
people can
some
make their
people
first
can make.
free throw.
I know,
There's luck.
I know there's luck, but
Or just
you just
born
can't. You just
skill.
can't. Like I think kids have that problem with
Riding a bike might be
doing
good.
anything. Yeah, they just think, well, I don't want to keep trying this because I'm not good at it right away. Is that you?
Everything.
Jen Francis
Wow.
raises her hand.
Brandon's thoughts speaking to Jen.
But it will become easy. I think I did kind of discourage her a little bit because I actually was talking to both my daughters. One plays the piano, one's playing the violin. My daughter plays the piano. She's doing pretty well. She's done it for a little bit. But she said, well, how long is it going to take me to become good? And I said, well, the standard is to become a master of something, 10,000 hours. And then they were like, well, okay, well, how long will that take me? And so I said, well, your current rate of you're practicing is 15 minutes a day, so it'll take you 50 years. And they're like, 50 years? So it really was discouraging. And then I said, well, then you up it up. If you do, 30 minutes, then it's 25. It's less, If you do an hour, then you're going to be 12 years. And you can't expect to be, you'd be good, but you won't be a master. But you can get to that good standard pretty quick if you put a little more effort into it. And they're like, I was like, at your current rate of 0 practice a day, then you're not going to get good at all, So any
Choose
little
a
bit
new
of practice
career.
will be good. But anyway, that's it.
That's good.
Everything is difficult until it becomes easy.
Nice.
I like it. Well, Jen, do you have a sign-off or anything you want to add before we
Have you thought about
Finish?
what your sign-off will be?
Okay, but this is a topic for next time, maybe.
Oh.
But no, but I did want to say goodbye to Mrs. Arvey. Because I have to pretend that she's the only one listening.
She might
That's
be.
the
We
only
just
reason.
never know.
Mama Arvy is what we call
Mama
her.
Arvy. Papa Arvy listens sometimes too.
Oh, okay.
But at any rate, thank you for listening and staying with us here on season 2, despite Jen thinking you all have left.
Yeah.
We want you to follow our Instagram page at life.lol.podcast. Go like and look for our Insta poll.
We should probably put more content on there.
We should. We'll start. We're picking back up. We're getting back to it. All right. Thank you again for listening. Okay, bye.